It's extremely important. He said that the reason why the soul, why Christians are not making it, because it's just little things. Offense here, bitterness there, fear here, doubt here. And the Lord was saying to me that all these things are not the things that plague the spirits. Because if you know, the spirits cannot accommodate this. But they dwell in the soul. Now the soul, it's like this. The body is here, the soul is here, the spirit is here. Now the soul has all of this crap in it. Meanwhile, for us to be able to manifest healthy lives on the outside, the soul needs to be able to connect with the spirit that is aligned with heaven and receive. But the soul, when the soul gets into the place where unforgiveness is inside of it, fear is inside, whatever, the soul begins to willfully live in disobedience. You know this is not what you should be doing, but it feels good. Because anyway, to do what God has asked you to do is harder than to not do it. So you see that we're now, what are we doing? We're trying to arrange it. We're trying really hard to arrange it. But because we're not, unfortunately, 80% of the time we're not in environments where they are looking out for our soul. We look like the real deal. We speak the language. We do all the spiritual rituals that we ought to do, but our soul is sick. It's a sick soul that recognizes that somebody came to church. In a church service of over 500 people, one person did not greet you. It's a sick soul. So we begin to, the soul just takes your focus away from God. A sick soul takes your focus away from God so that you can focus on all the other things that don't matter. And it makes sense. Because the truth of the matter is, if she saw me and she didn't greet me, we're quarreling. And maybe I called her to her and I said, and she still, there was a way she answered me. The next time, really, I shouldn't get in her space. So the soul says to me, the sick soul says to me, I just don't want to get in a less trouble. That's what it is. It is not that I hate her. I'm just minding my business. And in minding my business, the gap is further widened. So the Lord was telling me that the first time that he ever mentioned the soul in the Bible is from Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. It says, and God breathed upon the man, and man became a living soul. The first time that the soul was mentioned was at the height of excellence. The soul that was receptive to the breath of God. But by the time we got to chapter 3, man started to look at himself and all the other things that surrounded us. What's not working? The fruit looks nice. The fruit doesn't look nice. This person, Adam went out. The devil came. The serpent was here. All of those things automatically begin to crumble the resolve of the highest possible good that God had called man to. So man started to consider, well, just in case this Jesus thing does not work, let's have a backup. Devil, did you say that if I eat this, my life would I would live forever? I would be like God? Because really, Adam says when we walk in the garden that God comes. But the truth of the matter is, I always look around. I don't see him. So it makes sense to have backup, something that will work, just because at least this is a fruit, I can see it, I can eat it. Than a God that I can't see. And then the soul begins to shift like that. Before we knew what was happening, separation came because that thing caused the fall, and that fall made them ask them to leave the garden. And we are at the stage of our lives where things are happening. I will give an example. I will not mention names, but if you've been following Christendom, you probably know. There's a man of God that died on Sunday. Let's not just mention his name. But years ago, I would swallow his breath if I could. Because there's something that winds me when it comes to men of God. It's an ability to teach. So I have something that people call arrogance. I can't sit under a man or woman of God who doesn't know how to teach. Because the Spirit of God is a teacher. So when I found this man, I bought his books. If I was passing here and I saw him on TV, I would sit down. I will not move until I finish hearing him. But I remember like 8 years ago, I was watching that, like maybe 3 months before then, he was balding. And this day I was watching, and he had a full head of hair up to almost his brows. And I'm like, no, this is not right. Something is wrong here. And I looked at it, and I didn't know what it was. It didn't look like a toupee, but I knew that something had changed. And I sat there, and I just was watching. It was maybe even 10 years ago. And I was listening to him. He was still the same person. He was still teaching us powerfully. But that thing just made something drop inside of my heart. And I was saying, Lord, what's happening here? What's happening here? And God said, watch. Unfortunately, I was telling her this morning that I didn't know enough to begin to intercede for him. Because I didn't. I just saw it and I'm like, oh no, this is irritating. And I went my way. Like another 4 years down the line, we started to hear that he was accused of this and accused of that and accused. And when the devil wants to get you down, something as simple as your hair is balding. You want to, we always think we are representing God. Let's look. There's a way we need to look so that they will say that the glory of God is not your clothes. The glory of God is not your hairpiece. The glory of God is not your jewelry. The glory of God is absolutely nothing of those things. When Moses went and was with God and he came back, they said the glory of God is a glow that cannot be described. So you can be wearing the most wretched of outfits and people will look at you and say you are beautiful. Because that beauty is beyond description and explanation. So at least for me, if something that started from, oh, just let's cover this hair, it would have been his branding people that would say, oh, you have a church that has 25,000 members. In the US, they take their time to brand everything. They brand the Holy Spirit and put him in a bottle. So we need to brand it. Sure, you are doing those things like you are branded. Someone would have sold him the lie. Just like they sell us the lie here that you are a woman of God, you can't carry your bag. And I'm thinking, maybe if I was amputated in my hands, I can't lift my bag. But I still have 2 hands. Let me carry my bag. It doesn't change a thing. Women, we go and we come back and we're waiting for somebody to carry our Bible. If someone is not carrying our Bible, we can't get out of the car. Simple things. Somebody greeted you in church, didn't kneel, it becomes a problem. How come they did not kneel? Little things. Just symptoms of a soul that is sick. What is the thing that makes a soul starvation? A soul that is either not feeding on the right food, or feeding on the wrong, or either not feeding at all, or feeding on the wrong food. It's like we know now, we've heard about kwashiorkor. Those days, when you see a child, when they say a child has kwashiorkor, what's the thing? What has happened is this child is malnourished. It's probably eating more carbs than anything else, and so has a big tummy, tiny legs. We see those things, pale complexion, even though the child is a dark child, the complexion is pale. And then we begin to say this child has kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is just another word for malnourishment. So the thing is not that the child wasn't eating, the child was just eating the wrong food. They was eating the same kind of thing every day. Some of us are Christians, we're not open to another word of God, another person and their word of God. It's our man of God. If it's not our man of God, it cannot be the word of God. But I've read in my Bible that the Lord spoke through a donkey. It wasn't even a man. And he spoke, a donkey spoke the heart of God. So either you're malnourished, because when we begin to do that, but that my man of God thing can lead to kwashiorkor. Because it can just be feeding you on just the same diet. Meanwhile, this word of God is rounded. If it's not a Bible study, then when I come to preach a message, if I'm preaching a message, I pick a topic I'm comfortable with. I pick a topic I truly know. That's usually 80% of the time what we do. Then the other 20%, we say what God told us to say. I'm just telling you the truth. But beyond that, it is an ability to actually look at the words the way it is that gives us that balance diet. So this moment, we're looking at the word and all of us are praying. You know how we're doing what we did today when we started? Oh, God is too good for me to fail. God is too invested. Then we get to another one, we're hearing things like, you must, if you step out of the will of God, you can be shut out. Then you are getting balance. But the point is, if we continue, 2017 is not the year where you are trying. Trying is not the vocabulary of a child of God this year. Because how many of us here in this room right now know that in this 2017, we're just 17 days in, and a lot of people have died already. And this is not to scare anybody. But therefore, this is not a year to be trying. I'm trying, I'm trying. You see, my villagers say, they say, nearly doesn't kill a bird. So you can't say, that's when I go bring that bird, I nearly kill her. Because nearly means that the bird has escaped. So the trying is not the same of I've gotten it as I've gotten it. We need to get it. And unfortunately, I can't get it for you. You can't get it for me. I will get it for myself by the grace of God. You will get it for yourself by the grace of God. Whatever you do this year, run like a mad woman. They will talk to you. They will laugh at you. It's every time they see you now. Is that the only thing you know that? Closest people to you will say, do we need to be worried about you? Because we're calling you on a Tuesday, for instance, to come, let's go. Somebody is going to give us business. And you're saying, if it's before 11:30, I can't do it. They will look at you and say, you are not serious this year. They will probably go and look for new business partners. I promise you, it will come to that. But you see, you have to choose and let God know you've chosen. I promise you, this is January. I have made money this January. You have to leave my house. You have to lift a finger. They will call you because the Bible Matthew 6:33 says, seek ye first the kingdom and all other things God wants to give us. But am I dwelling? Am I abiding? We all need to, maybe periodically when we come, rather just do what we're doing, we need to systematically study John 15. To see the power there. And my fellowship with Vesta, throughout this year, we're centering on John 15. And we meet practically every weekend. And we're going to be looking at abiding. We will look at it when we finish abiding. None of us will be able to go outside God again in Jesus' name. But we need to recognize it. That is another year. Yes, it's a great opportunity. But things never get better. Since we were young, now we're not old yet, we're just getting. Have you ever seen anything in Nigerian markets? Have you ever gone to the market? What's went up? Have you ever seen it come back? It never comes down. Let the dollar come down, you see them say, they always have a reason why the thing is no longer coming down. It's the same thing with life. The longer we stay on planet Earth, the worse it becomes because the devil's time, for every day that you and I have, the devil is losing time. And so the devil, the more time he loses, the more desperate he gets. The more desperate he gets, the more on the rampage he becomes. So it's not getting better, really. Things are not getting better. That's why we need to run in. And when you manage to find your way in, stay there. There's a song that is the theme song for my life in 2016. Daily as I live, often as I breathe, let my whole life the expressions of your grace. I cry, Abba Father, hallowed be your name. Hallowed be your name. Hallowed be your name. I've told God, you see this year, if I will wake up, and at the end of the day when I'm going to bed, it will be like, you God in heaven, you will look and squint and say, I should not have let me live through this day. There's no need. But if I say it and I'm not conscious, that's what I will be doing every day, right? I wake up every day and then my life, God forbid, will not be an expression of the grace of God. But I'm not going to live like that. I am willing. And so, what am I doing? Because it becomes like, okay, she has gotten it. No, I haven't, but I'm willing. And so I asked God, how do I do it? And this is the thing I want to tell you. How do I do it? He said, if you can pray in tongues every single day. So that's how I started to walk. Because when I wake up, my alarm goes off at 4 a.m. usually. Now it goes off at 3 a.m. So it goes up at 4, and I just lie on my bed and I have conversations with God and I do all of these things. So when he said to me, you need to be praying in tongues every morning, I said, okay, I will do 1 hour. But then I realized that when I'm lying on my bed, sometimes you drift off to sleep, then you won't. So I'm not able to actually continuously pray in tongues for 1 hour. So I started to think about it. I'm actually getting fat, so I might as well begin to exercise. Since I'm not exactly excited about going to the gym, I might as well begin to walk. So I was just thinking, Lord, how will I do? He said, this is your compound. I said, yes, you can do. How many steps do you want to do? I said, 6,000. If I can do 6,000 steps before I go to work, I think that's good enough. Every other thing, even if I hit 7,000, 8,000. I wasn't doing 1,000 before. It's something for me. So he said, but you can walk on this in this premises and you will do 6,000 steps. So I got a step counter. And I realized that so I just wake up. If it's 5, I decide to get up to this determined by or depending on how my day is going to unfold. Sometimes I come down at 5, sometimes I come down at 6. If I come down at 5 and I walk from 5 to 6, just pacing around, back and forth my compound, squatting here, picking a stone, dropping it there. In 1 hour, I do 6,000, the average, 6,300 steps every single day. So what do I do? It's just me. My husband has joined me, but we don't talk. It's not a time for conversation. We spend that time praying in tongues. We come down, and as we're going back and forth, so by the time I have done my 6,000 steps, I have prayed myself up for 1 hour. So even if I don't get to do anything again that day, I have set the tone for my day. Because the Bible says that he that speaks in tongues speaks mysteries. And she was telling me this morning as we're coming that she was talking to a friend of hers in Abuja, and that friend was asking God. God said, you must pray what I want you to pray. So she said, God, teach me how to pray what you want me to pray. And he said to her, just pray in tongues. Because then you're not praying selfishness anymore. You're not praying out of worry. You're not praying out of fear. There have been days I calm down and I'm pacing and I'm praying in tongues. And when my tongue will change, I will see a picture. I know that I have moved into interceding for someone. And just when that is ending and my tongue changes again, I will see another picture. So I spend more days interceding for people, which really is what my life should be about. Not about me, myself, and I. Because really, what does the devil need? That I will be spending 1 hour every day to pray for. Am I the only one that has all the problem in Lagos? It's not that bad. My encouragement for us this morning is that it's a new year. I don't know how you ended last year, but let's be able to go through this year every day a lot more intentionally than we did last year. Wake up during the year and just go. And know when you step in. I was going somewhere. It was very funny. I was going to go somewhere to have a meeting with somebody. And I had prayed in tongues and I came up. And as I was just getting dressed to leave and begin to go for the meeting, I heard the Lord say to me, pray for another 5 minutes in tongues. And so I prayed. When I finished, he now said to me, he said, ask me that when you get there, the person will offer you this. So I asked him, and I got there. As I entered and we sat down at the table where we were supposed to have the meeting, the first thing the person said was, I don't know how I will say this. I don't know whether you will have the time to do it. But please, if you will just have the time. will you please? I just couldn't stop laughing inside of me. And so, you have to keep a straight face, right? So I tried to then I was really laughing inside of me because is it that easy, Lord? Because these are the kinds of things that you will make a pitch and make a pitch and make a pitch, and then they will decide that, oh, we know this person more, she's all over the place. Even though the person's capacity is not as good as yours, they will go with that person. And so I said, okay, I want to, when you want, I'd like to know that this is good, so let me push the envelope. So I said, okay, yes, I'm willing to do that for you. But the thing is, this is what my rate is, usually, but I will give you at this rate. And this rate is not a naira rate, it's a dollar rate. And I closed by saying to her, and it's 12 months, right? She said yes. I said, you pay me for 6 months now. Otherwise, I shall not be able to do it. She said, oh, you will do it? I said, yes. Okay, I will do you the transfer. Can you send me a... It's not about the money, because God could have found that money for me from any other place. It is the power that I'm trying to explain to you. Last week I went for another meeting. I came back and I was lying on my bed, and my husband said, okay, so how did your meeting go? I said, fine. He said, so what do they want you to do for them? I told him. He said, so how much are they paying? I said, I asked for this X amount. He took on it and he said, I'm kidding. I said, no, I'm not kidding. That's what I asked for. He said, it is too much. I said, well, that's what I asked for. He said, try and bring it down. I said, okay, no problem. I will bring it down because you asked. But really, that's what I asked for. And that's what I got. I had to by myself now to bring it down because I listened to my husband and I don't take it lightly that my husband said it to me. There must be something he's saying and not saying. And I said to the person, no, I'll actually bring it to you. She said, really? You would do that for us? Oh, and I'm like, if you had paid me 1/10 of this money, I would still have done it. I was saying that to myself. It's not, the Bible says, in vain you wake up early. And then you come back to bed late, walking like elephants, eating like ants. What are we doing? This is the power. Just hide inside there. You don't need to be perfect because surely I'm not perfect. I'm not. Yesterday, someone has been trying to drill a borehole for me. I drilled it in July. The person ran away with the money pathway and didn't finish it. So this time we started again. And they had not started to see water. They came yesterday, they wanted to carry their equipment. I just told them to lock the gate. I said, you're not going anywhere. This equipment remain here until I see what I said, Madam, my higher it. Unfortunately, that English language, I can't hear it right now. You want to carry this equipment? Let my borehole begin to work. So I'm not exactly really nice like that. I can't even promise you that the Holy Spirit told me to go that route yesterday. So it's not a thing of I don't. Yesterday, my husband called me in the evening to talk about, you have to break for this one. He said to me, Chiloba likes my husband a lot, that's what I'm telling you. I said, I had to break. He said to me, he called me on the phone, that they telling Mrs. Money, can I take you out? Where do you want to go? So I said, okay, you can take me out. Then he now called me. He said to me, you know you were mean to me last week, Abby? I felt ashamed when he said it because he wasn't quarreling. He was just saying it, and I knew I was. I said to him, sorry. So I'm not perfect. I do all the things that you do. Maybe some worse things. Okay, no, I don't gossip. I try not to do that. Because when I start, I can't stop. You get it. But my point is, God will speak to you. And it is powerful to be able to, before somebody gets to your house tomorrow, Wednesday morning, you already know that he's coming. So you have already taken charge in a place of prayer. And so you stand there when they enter. I used to think that is remote control. When somebody will just say something and they will just do it. But I feel that is not remote control. It's the power of God. Those who have the power of God know how to deploy it. You say it and they can't complain, they can't say. Praise the Lord. I just want us to live powerfully here. I guess that's what I'm saying. You see, your life will be so much better if you bring some power into it. Or who doesn't need power? You can add on to my own and read it. We will do so much better if there's some power there. People will deal with you a lot more respectfully and with dignity when you have a bit of power. And I'm not talking power as man explains power. I'm talking about power from on high. Because no one has given it to you, no one can take it away from you. So it has nothing to do with my hairstyle, has nothing to do with what I'm wearing. I really don't care. Then when you get to the point where you can say to someone, it won't be nice. It's not humble if I need to tell you who I am. I think it's just proper that you ask God who I am. If you can talk like that with confidence and you're not just mouthing it. Because if you ask someone to go and ask God who you are, and they truly go and ask God, you will tell them. Then you are probably getting to where we need to go. It's a fantastic year ahead of us. It's a fantastic year. Because God never does anything worse than the last. Except He wants to teach one particular person something. Usually it is better, and it is better, and it is better. And I want you to lay your hands on better and best. And my prayer is that God will help us get there in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, let's go to what we are speaking. Praise the Lord. Do we have questions there, or can we just quickly go on to Genesis 14? Any questions? Or do we want to go to Genesis 14? Let's see if anybody remembers what we did in Genesis 13. Does anybody remember what we did in Genesis 13?
We talked about Abraham going back to God's cover. And we talked about the first of the altar that they built, and Abraham went back to the altar. Yes.
Do you remember? She's in the spirit. You want to share? You want to share? Maybe some other time. Okay. But I can see that. Yeah, I think that something resonates with your spirit. Don't worry, you see, your eyes will see what the Lord has said. Okay, Genesis 14 is where we're going. And when you start Genesis chapter 14, if you read verse 1 to 11, it doesn't even look like there is much in Genesis 14. But there is a lot in Genesis 14. Genesis 14 is the story of how, in Genesis 13, Lot and Abraham have separated. And Abraham had gone back to where God called him. From that point, the Lord said to him to walk the length and breadth of the land. And we talked about all of them, how you draw a cross by possessing the land, and went through all of that. But if you also remember, Lot picked Sodom and Gomorrah because it was a valley country and because it had the grass was green and lush. So because he was a shepherd, it makes sense for him to go there, because if he is there, then he'll be able to, he'll be able to